Yeah, that wouldn't surprise anybody at all. I mean, we saw almost when that huge protest marched across the Sydney Harbour Bridge that at one point the police got so concerned that they sent out emergency text messages to the people who were heading in one direction, urging them to turn around and go back the other way. So clearly the Queensland Police and the courts have looked at that and thought, well, we don't want to repeat that mistake here.
Well, absolutely, and you know I applaud that. But again, I really think that groups choosing to shut down the bridge in this way are really, really taking the mickey. It's a terrible inconvenience. I mean, the Brisbane River is a big choke point for us, and the Story Bridge is critically important. Yes, we have an alternative being the Clem 7 tunnel, which is sort of downstairs under the river. But that involves people paying a toll. So people are going to pay a toll to deal with the inconvenience of these characters wanting to protest. We know that they care deeply about it. That's their right. But to shut down a city and inconvenience people on their weekend, I think is just not on.
Well, Melbourne's had a pro-Palestinian march just about every weekend for the almost 2 years, and it's quite aggressive. There's elements of socialist alliance in these crowds who, stir everybody up, and they get into the face of police, and they start spitting and swearing and calling the police killers and all of that stuff. Has it been as aggressive as that in Queensland or in Brisbane?
No, it certainly hasn't, Steve, and I guess that's the difference between Brisbane and Melbourne. I mean, Melbourne people seem to do protest. If there was an Olympics for protest, I think Melbourne would win. Gold. It's gold for Melbourne. And I'm sorry, that's probably one of the reasons I wouldn't want to live there. With the greatest respect, mate. But I don't think there's the same level of angst up here. There's obviously people who care about the issue, and good luck to them. I personally think they've skated over what was done to Israel, and I will always support Israel in terms of what they need to protect themselves and their community, and that should never be forgotten. And this could all have ended a long time ago if Hamas had handed back the hostages. And I think what we're seeing, by the way, from world leaders, our own Prime Minister and many other PMs, etc., around the world, I think is just weakness, total weakness. It's something that the Ronald Reagans or the Margaret Thatchers, the second week in a row I'm quoting them, would never have done, because they got what was really at stake.
Yeah, as opposed to, say, let's have a listen to Larissa Waters from the Greens and what she thinks of the march.
Look, it's a real shame that a peaceful gathering of folk marching saying that they want Australia to be working for global peace has been ruled to be unlawful when an actual genocide that is a breach of international law is continuing unabated. The irony of that is really clear. Folk want to peacefully march for peace, and yet they've been prohibited by the courts from going over a particular bridge. I know people will still want to gather. I'll still be joining them in that gathering.
Campbell, I can't help but notice the watermelon earrings, which is pretty appropriate given the Greens these days are anything but green. They're actually red on the inside.
Exactly.
I don't know if she was doing that for a joke or what, whether she thought no one had noticed, but there it is. I mean, does she really know what the word genocide means?
Look, I'm sorry, I need to be very careful about commenting about Senator Waters, because I'll get myself into trouble and maybe Sky into trouble if I said what I really think. But, but look, as I said earlier, there's a former Greens candidate who Senator Waters would know well, who is a key figure in trying to organise this. So it's highly political, as they have been in Melbourne, and, we shouldn't forget that. The left have been anti-Israel since 1948, basically. There's no change there, and this has just been a great opportunity for them. I support a democracy. I support a country that has been attacked and attacked and attacked for its very existence over the many decades. I've got a memory. I know the history, and that's why I support Israel and their cause.
I think if you and I keep having this Friday chat every Friday, you're going to finally convince me to move to Queensland.
Well, you should, mate. Absolutely. I think you'd get on really well up here. I think you'd really enjoy the place. Yeah.
It's very tempting, Campbell. Thank you. I'll see you next Friday, Campbell.